we've got a few things to show you. For example, today, Walt and Buck has done a lot of investigating in the Plymouth Landing.
Yes, we have.
And we want to show you what we think is going to be pretty neat. 6 degrees of separation from a pilgrim.
From a pilgrim. Now, this is our activity for today. You've all heard of the game 6 Degrees of Separation from
You
Kevin
ever heard
Bacon.
of that? Of Kevin Bacon?
If you don't even know who Kevin Bacon is, you've obviously never seen the movie Tremors or Tremors 2. We're going to do 6 Degrees of Separation from a pilgrim. So if Chris could put our... Or Footloose. Yeah, Footloose. If Chris could put our power period, or our, whatever that thing's called. You got it, Chris. You were right. I can't talk today.
Let me just take a second to explain it. What you can do with 6 Degrees of Separation from Kevin Bacon is you can take an actor, and in some way, shape, or form, Kevin Bacon was involved with something that he did in some sort of movie, okay? From Footloose to whatever. We're going to do that with Pilgrim.
And you can connect anybody to Kevin Bacon, but we're going to connect some very well-known people in this building to pilgrims. So the first one we're going to do is Mr. Flannery. Now, I know I promised last time that Walt and Buck wouldn't use a PowerPoint with pictures, but we just have too much fun with it, so you know what? Too bad. Get over it. Okay, here's our 6 degrees of separation. First, we have Mr. Flannery. All right, we got Mr. Flannery. Now, we know from our last episode that Mr. Flannery really resembles a distant cousin of his, Jim Henson. So there's 1 degree of separation. 2nd degree of separation is Jim Henson created Kermit the Frog. So we know we have Kermit the Frog. Now, we all know, if you're fans of Kermit the Frog, that Kermit the Frog was in love with Miss Piggy. All right. Now, Miss Piggy, I'm sorry, all you animal rights activists out there, but when Miss Piggy goes, she'll be turned into...
Bacon!
Ham. Okay. Now, ham is what John Alden Flannery ate at the very first Thanksgiving. Let's get a picture. Let's get a picture of John Alden Flannery.
There he is.
Look
there
at this.
He is. Look,
there is
on the
John
rock.
Alden Flannery.
Very neat.
6 degrees of separation.
Very
of
neat. If you guys can't see it, you can see him there on your list. Now,
all right, who's next?
Well, since we're talking about the bearded wonder, how about Mr. Bailey? How Mr. Bailey is related, our 6 degrees of separation with Mr. Bailey. First of all, Mr. Bailey looks a lot like Yukon Cornelius.
And who is Yukon Cornelius?
Well, you might remember all the Christmas shows. Yukon Cornelius is the gentleman that is
friends with
Rudolph. Remember, Rudolph and him are trapped. Remember when they were trapped in the
land of misfit toys?
The land of misfit toys. Okay, Rudolph can fly.
He sure can.
So can turkeys.
Turkeys can fly.
And turkeys what Edward Winslow Bailey ate on his first Thanksgiving.
And let's see if we can get a picture of Edward Winslow Bailey up here on the screen. There he is.
There he is, landing at the rock, ladies
Bailey.
and gentlemen. Landing at the rock.
Here we go. Edward Winslow Bailey.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's go on to our next 6 degrees of separation here. And this is going to be Mr. France and Mrs. Kelly. Well, let's get them up here on the screen here first. We have Mr. France and Mrs. Kelly. I know it's kind of small. I apologize for that. And we all know that Mr. France and Mrs. Kelly are accomplished Wave Studio actors.
Yes, they are.
Okay, they're accomplished Wave Studio actors. And another pair of accomplished actors are Regis and Kelly. All right? They are a famous pair. Another famous pair, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Now, if we could pause the PowerPoint here for a second, we have a little video of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head that can somehow remind us, I don't know, subliminally of Mr. France and Mrs. Kelly when they're in the Wave Studio. So if Chris can just show this real quick, see if you can figure out the comparison.
Slow down. What's the hurry? You're driving like a maniac. Are you listening? Are you listening? I can't stand it when you ignore me. This wind is messing up my hair. Oh, don't give me that look. Watch the road. Great. Now look what you've done. I told you not to drive so...
I don't know if you saw the comparison there, but let's go back to that. Let's go back up to our screen here, and we'll get back to our 6 degrees of separation. So we had Mr. France and Mrs. Kelly. We had Wave Studio actors. We had Regis and Kelly. We had Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. And since it is the Thanksgiving edition, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes. I know. I apologize for that. And then, of course, mashed potatoes are what Priscilla Mullins Kelly And Paul Bumpus France ate at the first Thanksgiving. And there they are. There they are. Distant relatives, 6 degrees of separation. That is absolutely amazing.
And I want to say something. These are, in fact, real pilgrim names.
They are.
Bumpus was a real pilgrim that landed with the Mayflower.
And so is Priscilla Mullins, Kelly. And we have one more for our activity today.
Mr. Waters. How is he 6 degrees of separation from a pilgrim?
I can't even imagine.
Well, first of all, Chad McBride is the principal on Boston Public, and Mr. Waters is the principal. Boston is, in fact, in Massachusetts. Plymouth Rock is in or outside of Massachusetts. The Mayflower landed on Plymouth Rock, and the captain of the Mayflower was Miles Standish Waters.
And I think we did a lot of research, and we found a picture of him. There he is.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Captain of the Mayflower.
Standish
Miles
Waters.
Standish
Captain of the Mayflower.
Waters.
Hey, I think we have some time for more trivia.
We do. We do.